Could the Orlando Magic be potential players at the trade deadline? Today we're going to talk about the key pieces that might be on the move come that February 6th deadline. But before I end up getting into the initial report and the initial article written by Marks of ESPN, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build an Orlando Magic basketball community here on YouTube, and we are well on our way. All right, with the NBA being off, or at least every team outside of the Mavericks and the Bucks until tonight, there's been a lot of time to think. And Bobby Marks came out with a great article talking about the biggest pieces that each team is going to have to look at, the biggest question marks for their rosters and everything of that nature. So here is the Orlando Magic's. He says Cole Anthony, Gary Harris are the potential trade pieces for Orlando. The big question is, who is the odd man out to create a roster spot for a player bought out or traded? Now we kind of goes into a little bit of the salary cap and what this team potentially values and what players that they want. Here is the very first part of the blurb within the greater article, which I would suggest that everybody goes on ahead and reads because it is still really good for every single team in the NBA. But he says Orlando has 12 players who have averaged at least 10 minutes per game this season. The only 3 who have not are Cole Anthony, Caleb Houston, and Corey Joseph. We all know, I'm going off script here a little bit, we all know the struggles that Cole Anthony's had this year, right? So it doesn't surprise anybody that he's averaging under 10 minutes per game, but it's definitely a far cry from where he was last year and what we thought he could have at least been this season. Now we'll go back on script. Anthony could have trade value after he signed a 3-year, $39 million extension last season. Gary Harris is another potential trade target for teams due to his ability to shoot, but his injury history could concern interested teams. Now we'll get back to the rest of the article in just a second, but I did want to expand a little bit on his evaluation of those players. Gary Harris is going to be potentially back tonight against the Thunder. We'll have to see. As of right now, doesn't look like that. He's still dealing with the hamstring injury, still game time decision. Nothing has been declared just yet, and I don't really see too big of a reason why they would trot him out against the Thunder. Everybody in the guard rotation is healthy, knock on wood. But that is his situation right now. He's not really a rotational piece unless we have a guy that's injured. And with Franz and Paolo Banchero injured, we're calling on some other guys in the rotation. But for Cole Anthony, yeah, he signed the 3-year, $39 million deal. I've said that's been like a team-friendly thing, and that could potentially attract other teams in the NBA, but I think it's a team-friendly thing for the Orlando Magic, right? You would want to keep a contract like that on the books for the most part. You don't want to have to just deal him away. You're kind of trying to get rid of those bad contracts, collect the good contracts, collect the good players. That's best case scenario, you know what I'm saying? But you would kind of want to keep him on the roster, and he's such a heart and soul of this team, right? But it's getting to the point now where is he even worth that much money? It's not a ton of money, but is he even worth that much money? He hasn't really played like it. Let's go back to the rest of the evaluation for the Orlando Magic. Players with trade value. Mo Wagner, $11 million. Team option in 2025. Gary Harris, obviously, just mentioned $7.5 million team option in 2025 as well. Free agents in July: Wagner, Harris, who is obviously just mentioned, Corey Joseph as well, $3.3 million and a team option, and Caleb Houston, $2 million and a team option. I don't really see us doing anything other than just bringing back Caleb Houston in that sort of sense. And also, if Mo Wagner were to be traded, I think I would lead the charge into rioting the streets of Orlando, or maybe just going to wherever he is traded, because I don't really see that being possible. Franz Wagner, I think he likes that his brother is on the team. He doesn't need his brother to be on the team. It's not one of those Giannis Antetokounmpo situations where he's keeping Thanasis around. It's not that. I think we've made a commitment to Mo Wagner, and we've said, hey, look, this guy is a good player, and we want to keep him, and here you go with your extension as well. That's a good handshake deal. But Mo Wagner is far from Thanasis. He is the most prolific scorer on the team right now. He is a 6th Man of the Year candidate. With Franz out, with Paolo out, this is a valuable piece. He is the most valuable, in my opinion, power forward / center on the team. Bitadze is great, but Mo Wagner coming off the bench is a spark plug. I don't think that is at all what this front office is thinking about doing. So I wanted to make that very clear. But obviously he does have trade value, and that's not exactly what Bobby Marks is saying, right? He's saying he's got value. And at 11 million, he's gonna there. We're gonna pick up that team option. That's for sure. I mean, we're not gonna let. I mean, we could potentially restructure in good faith, but I mean, getting him for 11 million right now is a steal. Controllable contracts: Anthony Black, obviously restricted free agent for a while. Jett Howard in the same boat. Tristan Silva. So those are the young guys. I don't really think that any of those guys would get traded just yet either. If there was a big trade, like I said, I've been talking about this for a minute now. I've made a few videos on De'Aaron Fox. I know it's kind of 50-50 within the Magic community there. One of those guys would end up having to go, and it would make sense because obviously a guy like Anthony Black would be in the rotation for the guards, and we'd be bringing in De'Aaron Fox, committing ourselves to him. So potentially Anthony Black would have to go, but I think more so Jalen Suggs. Jett Howard and Tristan Silva, I think the jury's still out on both of them. I think Jett Howard is going to be a player that could be a rotational piece for this team as they continue to get better, and he's not going to get left out. And I don't really see a potential of them trading him, but a controllable contract is still something I think maybe other teams would be interested in. And Tristan Da Silva is getting some major minutes right now. He has come off the bench. He has started plenty of games as well, and I don't really see them moving him because I think he actually could potentially be the best out of those three. I think Anthony Black has shown a lot, but he's just not shooting well. But I think Tristan Silva could be the best out of those three. I don't think he's getting traded. Long-term salary, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 22, a player option in 26. I could see him potentially getting moved maybe to a championship contender who wants to say we're going to use him better. He's been too inconsistent for this Orlando Magic team, and it's been really unfortunate, especially since we've been dealing with so many injuries this year that KCP, or so many impactful injuries, I should say, because most of this roster is pretty healthy, but with KCP not stepping up, that's super disappointing. He's also, I believe him and Isaac, right, are the highest paid guys on the team this season. That will change in the years to come. We all know the salary cap situation, but KCP is the other player on that on the list of long-term salary guys. And then obviously Cole Anthony there to round out the case. Now, where does this leave the Orlando Magic? Because there's plenty of stuff here. Well, they also have draft capital. They have their own first-round picks in the next 7 NBA drafts. Orlando will receive a 25 top 5 protected first from Denver, which is a top 5 protected in 26 and 27. Orlando has the right to swap its 26th first for the less favorable of the Suns and Wizards picks. And the Magic have 12 second-round picks available to potentially trade. Now, the financial restrictions are the Magic are $20.5 million below the luxury tax. They have an $8 million exception available. We'll see what they end up doing, but with everything and all the bigger names that they've paid within house, I don't know if there's going to be a trade that is made, but I think that kind of lays it all out. And if there were to be two guys, I am buying that it would be Gary Harris and Cole Anthony. I think this team, I could see them getting off of Gary Harris just to go on ahead and do it. But I don't know if that's realistic or what his trade value is like. Cole Anthony and KCP, what could you get for that? It'd be unfortunate to see Cole Anthony go. I don't think Gary Harris is a serious rotation piece for this team, and we just signed KCP, so you have to continue to wait longer, right? He's not going to be available just yet, so that's something that's way further down the line. But guys, let me know what you think. This Bobby Marks article was very, very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about the potential trade assets that the Orlando Magic have, and if you would like to see any moves. The De'Aaron Fox talk is always there. It's always in the back of your mind, so we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time with some more Orlando Magic basketball content.